Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS-Inform. There are many interesting things to know about Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial, and we're going to talk with the superintendent of the Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial, and that is Kendell Thompson. But first we want to say, we're really going to talk about the Drone Fest, which is coming up. So, weird connection, the Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial and the Drone Fest. And first of all, Kendell, let's talk about how did the Drone Fest come out of the Lincoln National Boyhood Memorial? The Drone Fest is May 13th.
Right. Well, we are strange bedfellows. I'll show you this. This is a poster the Park Service puts out, and it basically says, if you fly, we can't. And it's talking about firefighting mostly. But I only have one real rule right now, and that's don't fly drones. So why, that's a really strange fit that we would be working with the Parks and Rec Department of Santa Claus and the Visitor Bureau to do this drone festival. Mm-hmm. But the way it happened was Aaron Begley, who owns Heli Productions. I believe you talked to him at another time.
Yes.
He flew over the park, made a great video. It's a wonderful video. It's out there on Facebook somewhere. And I saw it, and I contacted him and said, Aaron, great video. Don't do it again. And he's like, I didn't know. And I said, well, how would you know? So how are we going to get the word out and let people know what you can and can't do? Because drones are cool.
Yes.
And I think Lincoln would have thought drones were cool. And so what can we do?
So you and Aaron got together in this way, and then got together with Melissa at the Spencer County Visitor Center, and you guys are going to have a drone fest on May 13th from when to when?
It's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock that afternoon. Okay. And it will involve a professional level drone race, and those things are amazing. They'll go up to 100 miles an hour, and they're really fun to watch. And they go through these obstacles called gates, and the gates are Lincoln themed. So you're going to see Lincoln's early boyhood life as the drones race around. Okay,
because we're talking about new technology from an old world. So the Drone Fest is at the Yellig Park.
It's at Yellig Park because you can't fly in the national park.
Okay, so you have to do it there. Sure.
Right. You can't take off or land or operate while you're on national park property.
Which is one of the ideas is to get people to understand what you can and cannot do with a drone. A lot of people are getting the drones, and they also need to get them registered with the FAA.
Correct, yeah.
And if you get a certain kind of drone, I think you have to have a pilot's license. There's rules to know. But this is going to be a fun day of finding that out. Plus, you'll see a race, a drone race, with professional drone pilots racing against each other.
It's kind of like the NASCAR circuit. They get points for the race, and they go to the next level with those points. So the race is going to be fun, but you've talked about the kernel of this for us is the education component. And we will there's about 10 sponsors on board right now, a lot of companies that hire drone pilots. They'll be talking about the drone rules. The Air National Guard their drone program will be present. So there's going to be a lot of hands-on opportunities. You can, at any age, little kids, adults, anybody can come in and hands-on fly drones, drop golf balls, things like that.
And this Yellig Park is just north of Holiday World.
It's almost directly north of Holiday World. It's where the Santa Claus town sign is. You turn right there.
Okay, so you'll find Yellig Park. Is there an admission?
No admission. It's free. You will have to sign a waiver, but it is a free admission to come to this.
Now I'm curious. We talked about the connection between Lincoln National Boyhood. You can't fly drones, so you did this, and you're having it at Yellig Park. You can't fly drones at National Boyhood Memorial, but you can at Yellig Park. But there's other connections between Lincoln and transportation or flight, I guess.
Yeah, Lincoln is a fascinating character in many ways, but one of them, he liked technology, cutting edge technology, especially transportation technology. He went to New Orleans a couple of times on flatboat, and we think that's probably where he got the idea for a patent. He's the only president who holds a patent, and it's a transportation patent. I have some pictures if you want to see. This is what he basically was designing, and it is a method for getting over shoals, over sandbars.
Okay. So it's a boat.
It's a boat. It's an addition to boats, and he got stuck on one of his trips, and that's probably where he got the idea for this. But he carried that through his whole life. As president, he did a couple of interesting things. Also attached to flight, he created in 1861, I have a picture of this too, he created in 1861 with a guy named Thaddeus Lowe the Army Aeronautics Corps, which eventually, of course, becomes the Air Force. And in 1861, Thaddeus Lowe took off from Cincinnati and tried to land on the White House lawn. He ended up in Confederate territory. It didn't work out that first trip, but it did work out eventually, and they had about 6 balloons. First time they'd ever used those in warfare like that. And if that wasn't enough, Lincoln also established the Transcontinental Railroad. So again, very involved in transportation, cutting edge stuff.
And so he would be really pleased to be able to come to the Drone Fest on Saturday. The 13th.
I think he would have found it pretty interesting. I mean, when the Springfield rifles were being sold to the government, the new ones, Lincoln himself wanted to test those out. He shot the rifle, even though he was not a big proponent of hunting or anything. He only shot one animal, as far as we know, but he really liked the technology.
Interesting, that connection and that flight by Heli Productions with Aaron Bagley, and he's one of your coordinators with you guys.
Yeah, Aaron's doing the yeoman's work on this festival. He really is.
Yeah, we've talked to him, and I think we'll have him on again next week to talk about the Drone Fest. Because what a cool idea! Is this? I don't know of a Drone Fest. Is this the first one? Is this? I mean,
as near as I can tell, this is the first one, certainly in this area, and maybe in the entire sort of Midwest region. There's that is like this. The drone races are international events. Eventually, I think last year's competition, international one, they've had it in Dubai. There was one in Honolulu. And the winner was like a 15-year-old boy who won like $200 and something thousand. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and we're talking serious drones that are doing this racing, not the little $100 ones that you buy somewhere, $300 ones. These are thousands of dollars.
Right, and so we'll have the whole gamut there at the festival. There'll be the racing drones are only about this big. They only weigh a couple of pounds, and again they're designed to go fast. They're hard to control. It takes a pretty experienced pilot to fly those things, and they crash them all the time. They crash those things just left and right, and then so they come with a soldering kit and extra propellers, and they rebuild them on the site, and so you'll get to see some hands-on construction. We have some robotics is also going to be at the festival. One of our sponsors, MPW, has some crawling robots that they use industrially, and they'll bring those, and we'll also have larger drones, again, possibly some military drones with the Air National Guard drone program. And we will probably have some of the more sort of stable photography drones to drop balls with. And those are the ones that you can just park them in the air and basically go have a sandwich and come back and they'll still be there.
Well, this sounds like something for young or old.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter that. I mean, kids are going to be thrilled by this, and adults will be thrilled by it as well.
Yeah.
And it's free.
It's free.
All you got to do is just show up. Will there be food and
there will be concessions. There will be
okay.
food and concessions, and again, you will be able to fly the drones yourself and crash them, if that's okay. Okay. They just rebuild them. Yeah.
All right. Well, Kendell, thank you very much for coming in. We're going to have you come back again, and we'll talk about the Lincoln National Boyhood Memorial and events that are going on there throughout the whole summer.
All right. I appreciate your time.
It's been a pleasure. Remember, the Drone Fest is at the Yellig Park in Santa Claus, not at the Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial, although you can visit that before or after.
Absolutely.
But at Yellig Park, which is just north of Holiday World, it goes on from 10 till 4 o'clock Central Time in Spencer County. It's a free event. It is going to be a blast. Kendell, thank you for coming in. Hope to see you at the Drone Fest. We are local people watching local people, WJTS.